Good morning, everybody. So on this video, I'm trying to make us to understand the tips we can have and know to avoid errors in sewing. So I'll be fast with this. Number one, measure and remeasure. Please let us always measure and remeasure, especially when you are working on a dress that has an half length, so that a particular panel will not be longer than another one, especially when you are working with a dress that has a half length. Number two, give your fabric a good press. I used to hate ironing until a customer got sent to me that said, with all these beautiful dresses you make, see, they always come out rough. So I learned ironing. Please iron and press, especially when you are working on a stretchy material and a chiffon material. Iron them before cutting at all, so that you avoid errors, because even if you don't um press them well, they will actually come out one before even sewing it. One will be longer than each other. Number three, use pin. Using of pins, it is not only what's it called, JJCs that uses pin. Professionals do use pin while cutting and while sewing. God bless you. Number four, notch necessary areas for signs and flat seam. Please, neck areas, everywhere you know that you need a flat seam. What's it called, when you are cutting princess dart bustier, anything bustier, you anything princess dart or bustier, you need to cut the seams, to notch them, so that you can iron them flat, where they can be flat and not be bulgy. So make sure you need to, and because of signs, so that you know where to join to each other. And flat seams, marking of wrong places to avoid losing too much. When you mark the long place, especially for materials like the medium ankara and the big ankara, make sure you do what, make sure you mark the wrong side, so that there was a time I sewed a cloth, and after finishing with the beautiful dress, the wrong side was there, because I sewed it in the dark, because I forgot to mark it. So please always mark your wrong side. Always mark your wrong side to avoid cutting. Buying of extra fabric, this is not really necessary, and it's not all the time that your customer will tell you that buy this material for me. Please try to, if you are buying yourself, at least half a yard, in case there will always be mistake. We are not God. There will always be mistakes, so that you can bounce back on that cut. You will not have to go back to the market, stress yourself, or not even knowing where you bought it from. Cut on a pattern paper stay, or a lining. There's some paper, there's a method that a boss of mine taught me, that she will use paper stay instead of pattern paper, since she knows that she's going to use pattern paper stay on that cloth. So she will just eventually use a paper stay to cut the pattern paper before cutting. But if you know you are not using, please, you can even use you can use leftover or rough what's it called, linings, to cut patterns before cutting your main fabric, so that you don't damage customers clothes or fabric. Please make use of paper stay, your pattern paper or lining, to cut patterns before cutting your main fabric. Always have your blade or seam ripper beside you when sewing. Never lose with your hands, to avoid tearing, rather damage of fabric. Please always don't avoid tearing. There was a time I finished sewing a cloth, and I just tore the seam with my hands, and all the clothes just got tore. I almost cried that day. Please try to make sure while you are sewing that your blade or your seam ripper is right beside you, so when any error comes, you can fall back to your blade or your seam ripper. And please, most importantly, when you are dealing with chiffon material, stretchy material, do not lose with blade. Use your seam ripper. And even if you are going to use blade, please make sure you don't use a new blade. Use a blade that is not sharp. That is what I was taught. While even if you want to use blade to loosen any cloth, use a blade that it is not sharp or new. So even if it is wants to tear it, to not damage it too much. So we are going to the last one. Don't be an I too know tailor. Never be an I too know tailor. No one is an island of knowledge. So if you are sewing you are coming across, you are sewing a new style you have never sewed before, or a new style that is just trending, and you know you are not too good on that style, consult your colleagues. And if you feel your colleagues are not giving you the real attention you want, go to YouTube. There are a lot of free tutorials that are there, that a lot of sewing tutorials have done there. Consult your YouTube. Get a phone that you can consult with YouTube, or you can go to a cafe, watch it before cutting the materials at all. Make sure that you have learned it with maybe a lining. Sew it with a lining first, then see the outcome, then you can now cut, so that to avoid expensive or even not expensive customers' clothes or your own fabric being wasted. Thank you. So the extra ones I want to give us, please always always pray before cutting. That's what I do, so that Holy Spirit is the teacher, that sees before we can do anything. So you pray, Holy Spirit, as I want to start, that is what I do. I'm not being religious here, I'm just giving us some extra. And pray for your customers. If they don't have good health, if they don't have money, they will not remember to sew clothes. Remember in the pandemic, who remember to sew clothes when everybody was in a serious serious what's it called, lockdown? So but when the pandemic was over, parties were out, people started having money, they remember that they were tailor. That time tailored suffered a lot. Please remember to pray that God give my customers good health and provide for them. When they have good money, when people have good money, they will always remember to sew clothes. God bless us. Thank you. So another time we always give us some sewing tips on some other sewing tips. God bless you. So on this channel, we'll also give interpretations to songs. And please remember that the coming back of Christ is soon, and it is not a joke. Bye. Thank you.